Yodelay hooing. Remix. Daddy cool. Daddy cool. I think we should just start it there pretty much.
Okay.
Are you ready for episode 13 of a Beardo and a Weirdo Talk film?
13? I thought we were on 14.
No, I think it's... no, it's definitely 13. I've been counting them. We number them as we go along.
I thought we were on 15.
No, it's definitely 13, yeah. And the film today is Fantastic Beasts. And where I left them, were they under the sofa? Were they next to my keys? I don't know.
Oh.
Before we get onto that little chestnut, would you like to tell me how you are? How you been feeling? How's the diet going?
Diet's gone to shit.
Too many fatty acids in my belly.
Not enough omega-3.
I'm doing well. How are you, my other host? I'm fine. My head's quite cold because obviously I shaved all my hair off, and a consequence of being bald on the top of the head is that the top of the head gets quite cold in these winter months.
And then it burns in the summer months. Burn, baby, burn.
Yeah, I can't really go to hot places, can I? For fear of death. Instant death.
And you also get ripped off by travel companies when you do.
Oh no, we got the money back. It was fine. Eventually. I got my money back from Stavros, don't you worry.
Right, come on, let's start with some news. Give me some news.
I
want some news. I don't want olds, I want news.
You want news, do you? Well,
to be fair, by the time we've done it, it is olds. Because it comes out this comes out in 4 days after we've done this.
Yeah, normally it's like 7 days after, so it's even older.
So prepare your ears. Prepare your ears for some olds.
Has anyone heard that they're going to make a new Star Wars? It's going to be called The Force Awakens. When did that happen? Oh shit, we're out of date.
Just give some news. Give some news. Come on.
Well, this isn't news, but they've just released a poster for the new Alien film being directed by Ridley Scott, who is actually, I think he's 78 years old. So at this point, how is he still alive?
And doing films, but seriously, this looks like every other Alien film poster ever.
Yeah, but I quite like that vibe, especially after what I thought was quite a serious low point with the mind-numbingly bizarre and just
Prometheus,
tiring Prometheus.
Yeah, which with the massive white guy.
An alien film without aliens.
Ugh.
Oh, there was one at the end, sort of, but it wasn't. And then Charlize Theron gets crushed because she can't ride sideways like a crab.
Yeah, that film was shocking.
I mean, I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but apparently it was going to be released towards the end of last year, but now it's come forward to May, so I don't know if they think it's doing better than it was,
just feel like
it's simply like better prepared. Or
the longer they take trying to make it good, the better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so the fact that they're taking less time might be a worry.
I mean, it's good to know that Ridley Scott's got a direction, and the studio just sort of let him follow that direction. That's a good thing, but sometimes his direction turns out to be really shit.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I guess, the omens are fairly good. He said there's going to be a lot more monsters and it's going to be scarier, even though it's going to be following from a Prometheus. And of course, like, he made The Martian last year, which is pretty good, so he's got some form going into this.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I reckon it will turn out pretty bad.
It's not like he's making it straight after he made Hannibal, which was one of the worst films I've ever seen. So, yeah, there's opportunities there, I guess. I'm really excited because I love Alien, but I don't know, really. I mean, it could go either way. But what I'm excited for is being able to actually see an Alien film in the cinema.
Really? You did not see
Alien
Prometheus?
Film. Nah, I don't consider that to be an Alien film.
Fair enough.
And I didn't see it in the cinema anyway. And of course, Alien vs Predator and that. I think I was just too young to see them in the cinema. And they were just fucking garbage, as they say.
There's, moving on from Alien news.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Martin Scorsese's new film, Silence.
Oh, is that the one which has got Andrew Garfield looking like a hobo?
It's got Andrew Garfield, Adam Driver of Star Wars fame.
He's in everything now,
Liam
isn't
Neeson. Yeah, he also talks like this all the time.
Or talks like this. I actually watched a film called Inside Llewellyn Davison, who was in that the other day.
Actually, he looks like a Jedi in it. He kind of looks like Anakin from the second and third Star Wars films.
Yeah, he does. Andrew Garfield, as much as he's like a fairly handsome chap, I think Abood definitely doesn't suit him. A beard doesn't suit him. It looks very puby. I don't know if he actually shaved off his beard and stuck it on his face.
You just don't like other people having beards.
Oh no, it's just when they're bad beards. Bad beards. This is Matt's bad beard section. And the bad beard of the day is Google Andrew Garfield with a beard. It looks fucking awful.
Okay, so that looks good. Martin Scorsese, is it all right?
What's that about again, sorry?
Oh man, there is a...
I haven't actually... Is there a trailer for this?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Can you just describe it to me in like
I've not
30
seen the
seconds?
trailer either.
Oh, we're woefully unprepared.
Should
That
we
doesn't matter.
Do we pause this and then we'll come back with a review for the trailer?
Yes, let's do that.
Yes. Okay, so we've got an exclusive thing for this podcast now, a live reaction to Silence by Martin Scorsese.
And Andrew Garfield's accent was terrible.
Passion of the Christ in China.
Passion of the China in Christ.
Passion of the Christ 2, China War.
Chinatown Wars.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's Spanish Christian missionaries played by American and English people
Of course.
in China.
Because we couldn't possibly have any Spanish actors do it.
At least the Chinese people were Chinese.
Were they? Were they Taiwanese? Were they Japanese?
Yeah, it looks okay. The trailer gives like nothing away other than Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver go to China to preach God.
Yeah, I won't be watching this in the cinema.
It
looks a bit arty-farty to me.
Where there's some free crucifixes on the beach. I bet you that's them free.
What, Liam Neeson as well?
Yeah, I bet you that's
The
them
niece.
free at the end of the film. Also, I couldn't get over how big Adam Driver's ears are. They're fucking huge.
He does look like he could jump out of a plane and just comfortably go
Oh my God.
to any possible location. He looks a bit like what's it, Lembit Opek. He looks a bit like a runner bean with
He's
giant
grown
ears.
his hair and got really black hair, so it just looks like he's giving his big ears a massive black background.
It's a matte background, but yeah, I mean this looks okay, but I don't think it's really our sort of thing. There's not enough arse and titties in it, I guess.
Anyway,
Need some more ass and titties.
yeah, don't bother for now. I'd wait for some reviews. And final bit of news: Emilia Clarke joins the Han Solo standalone film.
Oh yeah, so Daenerys is going to be in it. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she's joining as Leia. But
she can't do that.
no, I don't know. And it's got Childish Gambino in it. What's his name again?
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. He's in
actual
it.
name, yeah.
He's playing Lando Calrissian.
Lando.
And
should be good.
Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know.
Is a dude with a really weird name, yeah.
Yeah, he's
impossible
playing-
to pronounce, some might say. It might as well be a symbol. Hashtag.
Yeah,
Alden Ehrenreich.
so that looks like it could still be quite bad.
Yes, it looks like it's going to be one of those thinking man's films, doesn't it?
It'll be like Terminator Genesis. Have you seen Terminator Genesis?
I can't watch it. I
It's-
can't bring
it's
myself.
horrible.
I saw like part
The
of like, the
timeline.
last minutes. Isn't what's his name actually a Terminator in it?
Oh,
Her son.
everyone
somehow becomes a
everyone
Terminator.
turns out to be a Terminator in Terminator.
It's just we want to freak out the timelines, blend them together, have Arnie looking old and sad, some shit CGI. I thought Salvation wasn't that bad. I mean, it's a very different take on the story, but we got that golden bit of Christian Bale being recorded, just screaming,
Oh, I love
"You're
that.
a fucking asshole! I'll kick your fucking ass!" That was so good. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Don't watch Terminator and don't watch Han Solo until critics say it's actually good.
But listen to the rant of
Listen,
Christian Bale,
go on
classic
YouTube.
rant,
Don't
which goes on for like
don't-
15 minutes.
Don't watch the trailer for Silence. Don't expect Han Solo to be good. Don't watch any of the Terminator films except 1 and 2. But do go onto YouTube and search Christian Bale
I'm gonna
rant.
kick your fucking ass. But yeah, that is a classic. What have you been watching? Anything? Nothing other than Fantastic Beasts, which I guess was going to be your
I
stock
watched
response.
Fantastic Beasts.
Hey, anything else?
What did I watch this week? Oh, the new Top Gear.
Oh, what,
The Grand Tour. It is like Top Gear, but a movie. Seriously, they've used like these crazy like 4K cameras to film it, and the thing just looks like a film.
Does Jeremy Clarkson's face look even more like a scrunched up arsehole had
Yes.
sex with a ball bag than
Because
usual?
obviously, as cameras get higher definition, people look worse.
Ugly people go and get uglier.
Ugly
That's a
people
fact.
are. It's funny. If you like Top Gear, it's worth a watch.
Yeah, I never was that much of a fan, so I'm going to give this a miss, I'm afraid.
Boo.
I don't really like cars.
and
I'm
you've
more
not
of a
got-
bus man.
And you
I
probably
like
not got
buses.
Amazon Prime.
I have got Amazon Prime, or rather I can borrow my brother's. It's fine. I've got my brother's Amazon Prime, my girlfriend's Netflix, and my dad's Sky. So.
Oh, and Westworld got really good.
Oh, I'm still only 4 episodes in.
Oh boy.
Oh boy!
Oh boy.
I've got some catching up to do at
There's
some point.
twists and some turns.
How many episodes are they into now?
In Westworld? 7.
7. Oh, I've only got 3 to get.
Man,
through.
oh
That's
man.
achievable. in an afternoon.
Anthony Hopkins is crazy.
He's crazy old man.
Crazy old man. No, seriously though, if you're not watching Westworld, give it a watch. It's amazing. The story's really good. Also, watch out for the theory that it's all being filmed at different times.
It's being filmed at different times.
Yeah, if you watch it, you'll notice some of the characters switch their clothing. And it's theory that when they do interviews with the host and stuff, it could actually be in different times and what's actually happening in Westworld.
Oh, are you saying that it's not in a chronological order?
It's a theory at the moment. It's not been proved. That's why it's not a spoiler. So don't worry, I'm not spoiling Westworld. It's just a theory at the moment.
It's a spoiler. There's cowboys.
Some of the interviews and things like that have been done out of sync with what's happening in the story.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair enough. A couple of films I would like to mention. I watched True Romance on Monday. It was made in 1990 something, and it was written by Quentin Tarantino. Have you seen it?
Nope.
Christian Slater in it. It's got Gary Oldman in it. It's got.
I just hear romance and think.
Oh, it's not a romantic film. That's just like a crazy typical Tarantino film. It's worth watching.
Okay.
Gary Oldman plays a drug dealer with dreadlocks.
Well, guess it's worth a look at
It's
the
worth
picture.
it just to see him alone.
Yeah.
This was just like a good film. It's one I've wanted to see for a while, and yeah, it had that cool Tarantino style. We didn't direct it. I was directed by somebody else, but it was good. And last night I rewatched the original 1989 Batman, directed by Tim Burton, which I absolutely fucking love.
Is that the one with Penguin in it?
That's Batman Returns now. This one's the one with Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Oh yeah.
I really
Have you
love this
ever
film.
danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I think he's awesome. I think he's so good in it.
He's alright.
And I think another point that he brought up is I feel like it really highlighted to me how like weak Marvel villains are. Like I noted.
Yeah, they don't last, do they?
Like Joker is it? I think he might actually be in this film more than Batman. Like he's given so much. I know it's Jack Nicholson, so I always get big role, but
Yeah.
he's just given so much to do, and there's so much development. It's such a likable character.
The only really good villain in Marvel at the moment is Loki.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's the
He
only
keeps
one who's
coming
actually
back.
got any sort of depth, and he actually develops a relationship with characters beyond. I have a motive. It might sort of make sense in my head, and I want to be purely evil, but
Ultron
blah, blah, blah.
could still come back. He comes back in the comics all the time
He was so shit though.
because he's stored on like someone's USB flash drive somewhere or something.
He's on a floppy disk, but he was so like I was.
Yeah,
when
he
I read a
was.
review, he was supposed to be a good villain, and then I saw it, and I was like, I can't even tell the difference between him and Iron Man when they're flying around, except that he's all
And
silver.
It had the same guy that what's his name? What's the name that voiced him?
James Spader.
James Spader in the office, in the US office. Is, I am the Lizard King. He just shouts that at one point. It's so funny. But yeah, Marvel villains are a sticking point. It's really they're not good. They need more villains that last more than one film or come back.
It's not just
or
the
run
fact that
away
they're in
and
one
come
film.
back.
It's just what they do in those films. They literally appear at the start to show, I'm evil. There might be like a mini clip somewhere in the middle which updates their evil goings on, and then at the end they have a battle, and that's it.
Apart from in the Iron Man films when the real villain is himself. Fuck.
That's an allegory for Robert Downey Jr.'s life and how he's battled alcoholism and drug addiction to bounce back and become the biggest movie star in the world. Near enough.
Ugh.
I'd say so, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Talking about big metaphors for current issues in films. Do you have your wand permit? Because we're in America now, so you need a wand permit. Like a gun permit.
Oh, 'cause it's dangerous, you see.
Oh.
And they need to be regulated.
Regulate guns, regulate wands.
Thinly veiled allegory.
Thinly veiled. Ooh, not as good as England. Ooh. Ooh, you filthy nomad.
No match.
This week's film segment, Fantastic Beasts.
And where to find them? Where are they?
So this is based on a book.
Is it over
From,
there?
like,
Is it over here? Is it over there?
2000
Anywhere.
2003 that was done as a spin-off to the Harry Potter books.
It's like a tiny little supplementary.
Yeah, it's actually got about 40 or 50 beasts in it, and this film's got about a few of them from the book, but not that many.
I couldn't really recognise it, but I did read the book, like you said, about 13 years ago. So I was a little bit slack with my beast knowledge.
That's quite good though. It's based on someone that is in the Harry Potter books, Newt Scamander, who wrote a book called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and it's been used in whatever beasts class ever since.
Yeah, and it's funny because Newt Scamander has like a striking resemblance to Stephen Hawking from The Theory of Everything.
Yeah, and
up until he gets really disabled.
British actor Eddie Redmayne.
Eddie Radman. Didn't you? Do you want to start now? Should we get involved? Get into the meat of it.
We'll get into it. Talking about disabilities, does Eddie Redmayne have autism?
Hello guys, just before we get into the main feature, I'd like to just give you a chance to listen to some promos from our fellow podcasters in the Podden family. They're great guys, they're lovely, and they're entertaining. Please give them your full attention now.
You're listening to a Beardo and a Weirdo talk film, but I'm assuming you already know that because you made a conscious choice to go to iTunes and download their show, or go to their website, or go to their Twitter feed, and you found them, you listened to it. And now at this specific moment, you're actually not listening to their show, you're listening to me, Chris Maynard. And the reason I'm talking right now is I want to try to get you to listen to my show. It's called Following Films, and it's a weekly podcast where I interview filmmakers, writers, directors, actors, film critics sometimes, and just talk about independent film. I had guests like Leah Thompson, Pat Healy. Recently we had Kim Coates from Sons of Anarchy on. So I tend to think it's a good show, but I'm kind of biased, and if you could do me a favor and check it out, I would appreciate that greatly. If you hate it and it sucks, don't hold it against these guys. Just go to iTunes and leave me a scathing review. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Hey, Mr. Stallone, have you heard of the Movie Source Rex podcast? I don't know much about the Movie Source Rex podcast, but I hear that it's a really great podcast, great movie show. They got impressions. They're not good impressions, but they're impressions. They got movie news. They got movie discussion. I don't know much about the movie discussion, but go see my new movie, Expendables 10,
If you want to hear more stuff like this, head over to the Moviesaurus Rex podcast.
Or don't.
Or don't. It don't really fucking matter, does it? Do what you want. But yeah, maybe do. Or don't.
Please.
Please listen to us.
Where can people find us?
They can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. And they can get in contact with the show via Twitter by tweeting at MRexPodcast. That's at MRexPodcast. Is that alright?
One, two, three.
Karate. Yeah.
Defense is my specialty.
It looks like a sturgeon.
Combat. Back off my dick. Sex.
Don't think I won't slap you.
The Jewish rainbow?
You wanna Snickers and chill?
Mind control. Hey everyone, welcome to the Savage Podcast.
Glad to have you, motherfuckers.
Yes.
No, seriously, he doesn't make eye contact with anyone once in this film. He's always looking at the floor. Always looking at the floor, and he stutters.
He was doing, to me, he just sounded exactly like he did in the start of The Fear of Everything, where he was doing that sort of like kooky thing.
He's like, look at little ticks, little character ticks.
Can't
look anyone in the eye.
Talk to you.
Can't quite talk to you. Gurns a lot.
He does a weird gurney thing, doesn't he?
His chin's always moving.
Has he been hanging out with Vicky
man,
Patterson
he's
from
got
Geordie Shore?
He's got a pendulum chin. It's always moving.
I still can't believe how old he is. He looks like he could be like
How old
our
is
age,
he?
and he's like 34.
No, I'd say he was late. I'd say he's early 30s.
He's got like strange skin though, isn't it? It doesn't look quite real. He's got like translucent snake skin.
Yeah, he's a bit of a shifty fellow.
Like
but
Babafass.
he plays the kooky English gentleman, Newt Scamander,
With a briefcase
who
full
brings
of
a
tricks.
briefcase full of beasts to America to buy a beast, apparently, at the beginning of the film. And we're not going to go into the plot because this is quite a long film. There's a lot of very different things going on. So we'll sort of go through the film, what we liked, and reveal little plot points here and there.
Yeah, we'll
No spoilers yet.
around it.
No spoilers yet. Don't you worry.
And at the end, what happened was they were all dead.
Oh, I wish some of them were dead. Anyway, so he gets to America and gets pulled over straight away. Where's your one permit?
He doesn't have one. Oh no, is that what happened straight away, or doesn't he?
No, he goes across the so in America at the moment they've got the Salem sort of people, the witch trials. Salem witch trials are still quite large in like public, and there's people from Salem like handing out leaflets saying we should kill witches and wizards. and it's not. We don't really know if they actually know witches or wizards exist, but they think they do.
They're led by that crazy lady who's a bit like the woman from Misery, isn't she?
Yep.
She's a bit of a lunatic, a bit of a child beater, a bit of a bitch. Don't know who the actress is, but she's got a suitably scary haircut. So
yeah, so she's
that's
kind of like
terrifying.
a nun, sort of controlling her kids, stopping them doing anything really.
Credence, I'm gonna beat you with a belt.
And then her son, Ezra Miller, who got the worst haircut in history ever.
That's why he's so depressed, isn't it? It's his haircut, right?
Oh, God. And he's so lanky. He's
so
got a
gangly.
massive head.
I think they gave him ill-fitting clothes, didn't
He's
they?
lanky. He's got a massive head, and he's wearing a suit. He looks like Frankenstein's monster.
He does. It looks like something out of a Tim Burton film.
He really does.
He looks so kooky.
And at the same time as Newt Scamander arrives, there's this big dark force ripping its way through New York City. And at the beginning of the film, you're unsure whether it's one of his beasts or not.
One of his beasts. But I will say, just a point. I do think like this film and like the production and the style they went for was really cool. Like it had that very, I don't know, was it like 20s or 30s vibe?
Oh,
it
yeah,
looked amazing, didn't it?
It looked brilliant.
The outfits, the costumes, the buildings, etc.
Yes, I think New York's quite an easy place to do like a 1920s shooting though, because a lot of the buildings
It's still
around
like
there
that, yeah.
were there in like the early 1900s.
Yeah, so there's that aspect of it. So it's visually a lovely film to look at, shall we say?
Yes.
And then Mr. Newt, he one of the creatures escapes from his
Got a
suitcase.
platypus.
That little furry thing,
Oh
that, like,
man, I
stealing
love
the
that
gold.
thing.
That was
I
really
love
funny,
that
wasn't
little
it?
thing.
Yeah.
It's a little platypus with like a big pouch. It just fills its pouch up with jewellery.
Just steals the gold,
Yeah.
and it runs into a bank.
Where we meet his friend, the fat guy. Can't
Fat
remember his
comic
name.
relief.
Fat comedian who
I wrote Fat Moustache Man Funny.
he's so funny in this film.
I think the character's name was Jacob Lugowitz.
He's
I
really
don't know who the
funny.
actor is.
He makes like a really good straight man compared to like Eddie Redmayne's crazy kookiness.
Well, yeah, he's like sort of like the audience in the film, isn't he? Where he's
Yeah.
like experiencing all this stuff and he's reacting just how like you would.
Yeah, because he wants to be. He's not magician, and normally if you're not
No
magician,
match, no match,
no match.
no match.
Your head gets wiped like Men in Black 1, 2, and 3 by wizards.
One of the things that I've always found a bit sketchy about that. I know we're living in the Harry Potter universe, which is of course.
Forget.
Where am I again? And obviously, like, there's no like real horrible adult themes, but isn't like being able to just like obliterate everyone's mind, just like date rape heaven?
Yeah, a little bit. And actually, there's a bit in this film where Colin Farrell catches. Oh, by the way, I'll get onto this later. We'll get on to Colin Farrell after I've mentioned this bit. There's a bit where Colin Farrell brings in Eddie Redmayne and the woman that arrested him in the beginning, and he just goes, "Yeah, kill him. You're sentenced to death."
Yeah,
And there's no judge or jury. He just goes, "You are sentenced to death."
I mean, we could see that he's quite a high-powered individual, but I thought in the wizarding world, I mean, I know this is in America, so you know anything can happen, but even in the wizarding world, it seemed a bit like I thought they were a bit more like calmer than that.
Yeah,
As opposed
it's
to just like
they're called the Makusa in it. Rather, we've got the Ministry of Magic in England, but in America they're called the Makusa.
Makusa
And
Matata.
Colin Farrell is one of the agents.
His name is Grimes. No, not
I
Grimes.
can't remember.
Grobs.
And
Grimes.
what's the woman's name? The really thin woman's name?
Oh, I can't remember her character's name. For the sake of this, she'll
Tina, I think her name in the film.
be Wizarding Lady number 1.
Anyway, yeah. So Tina, I think it is.
We'll go with Tina.
I don't know. We'll
And
go
her
with
sassy
Tina.
sister.
Yeah, so Tina sort of brings Eddie Redmayne in, and you think he's getting arrested. He seems very nonplussed by it. He's like, "Oh, okay, whatever. Oh, I guess I'll just bumble over here a little bit and see what happens.
I'll bounce around.
Oh, just bounce around over here." So yeah, he gets pulled in, and it turns out she's not actually a police officer, or she was, and she got fired.
Yeah,
And Colin
she
Farrell's
was,
like, "Get out! Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Why are you here?"
She got fired for having sex in the office, which is unfortunate. But
How did she get fired?
she, you know that horrible bitch lady who beats up Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
Apparently, at some point, whack the mic. Obligatory whack the mic. Andy, you can whack mine. And then she attacked that woman, who's obviously a nomad.
Oh right. Okay. So
'Cause
she
she saw,
attacked a nomad.
The domestic abuse. But getting on to this, the lady who plays Tina, I don't know the actress's name, but I think she's pretty good in this.
She's alright.
She does a decent job. She's sort of
Yeah.
obviously the love interest.
So
of the,
she has a
the kooky
sister
individual.
who can read minds.
Yeah,
And her sister sort of falls in love with the fat guy,
highly
fat moustache
unbelievable
man.
because
But-
she's actually quite fit, but she
but-
gets less fit as the film goes on. I'm not sure it's because she falls in love with the fat guy.
But you're not allowed to have a relationship between a wizard and a nomad in America.
For the child would be
Again,
an abomination.
yes. Again, thinly veiled reference to racial segregation. Racial segregation.
Segregation.
Racial segregation.
Across the nation.
Racial segregation. But yeah, so it's like, oh, I love him, but I'm not allowed to be with him because he's a nomad, and she can read minds, which is pretty cool.
All right, I know we're sort of freestyling.
Yeah,
now,
we're freestyling here.
But one of the best lines, and something that made me laugh, and I'm not sure if they knew exactly what they were saying. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like an adult joke or whatever, or maybe I'm just really childish. But there's a point where we see that Newt has got like a picture of this woman, and he just doesn't really want to talk about it, and he's being quizzed about it. And Tina goes to him. She was a taker. You need a giver. And after that point, that just stuck in my head, and I didn't really watch anything else that went on. But I need to remember this because it's such a good line. I mean, were they trying to be funny, or was it supposed to be like?
I think that was just terrible writing.
So I was just sitting there thinking,
I do remember that bit.
he does need a taker,
But-
a giver rather.
But yeah, so after all that hubbub, she takes him in. Then they get kicked out because she's like, "You're not a magic police officer." She's like, "No, he committed a crime." And like, "We don't care if he committed a crime. You're not a magic police officer, so piss off back to your wand permit job, you little skank."
You skank. I do remember the lady president saying skank. And another thing that's also another thinly veiled reference to current modern day times. How funny is it that the American wizarding world got a female president before America actually did?
Oh,
Do you think they were planning
political?
Were they planning on Clinton winning, do you reckon?
I think there's been a picture of her somewhere before in Harry Potter.
All right, so this is
I
just...
feel like
It's just because J.K. Rowling's very progressive, isn't she?
Yeah,
she's very
black
she's very
woman,
open-minded. She wants to...
But they
Save the
end up
world.
staying at the sister's houses. The sister's house?
She makes the loveliest strudel I've ever seen.
Yes. Oh, God.
Magically, that does look like a
This is
strudel.
lovely strudel.
Strudels.
And Eddie Redmayne opens his suitcase finally. You get to have a little peek inside. And this is what I like. And this was very cool. His suitcase is like a TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside.
It's got basically almost like a zoo in there where it's got a number of closures for his...
He's got a zoo in his suitcase, yes.
For all these little creatures. I must admit, I did like his... what was it? Oh, I can't remember what it was called. It was called something or rather stick thing. But his little stick dude that he's got.
Oh,
on his
yeah,
outfit.
his
It's
little
so cute,
mascot.
isn't
He's got a little stick dude. But
he? And he helps
this
him and he's so cute and it's lovely and he's got
This
character.
film is like watching Doctor Who in New York. So if you think about it, he is basically Doctor Who. He's got a pointy stick that can do anything. He's got a box that's bigger on the inside. And he's just sort of an English guy bumbling about getting out of all these messy situations by almost luck.
Doctor Who in New York.
But so the thing with Newt Scamander, Eddie Redmayne's character, is he's not actually that good at magic, or he knows magic, but he's not like...
It's not conventional, is it?
He's
It's
not like the best magician, but he sort of makes up for it with his beasts.
Yeah, he uses his creatures. Like there's that cool one that he uses a bit like a yo-yo.
The night terror or death terror or something like that, and it's like a bat which he just flings out, and it sort of scares the crap out of anyone he can fling it at.
And he can use it to like block spells and stuff. That's quite cool.
He's got a little stick guy that opens locks.
I believe his name is Cletus. Sticky.
And he's got he's got this massive. Basically, you find out when he comes into the suitcase. The reason he's in New York is he wants to set this like griffin kind of thing free.
Yeah, it's like some sort of a griffin. We'll call it a griffin.
Yeah.
Is it called Frank?
I feel like it is, but
that's not. It's like
up until this
terminological
point, the CGI has been really, really good. Like with all the beasts and that, like they looked as real as they could be. But every time he pets them on the head, I just get pulled out of it because it's like you can tell he's just resting his hand on like a big green box,
Well,
and they
yeah,
just
I
edited
think-
the griffin in.
That's still something where I think they still struggle with CGI
Yeah, so
in
he's
terms
just,
of melding it with the actual physical directly like that.
And so it's sort of like a zoo, but it's really cool because he's got all these sheets up, and the sheets are obviously magic, so it makes it look like one's in like Sahara Desert, and some's in like the rain and things, and one's in like the polar ice cap.
Yeah, so there's a nice contrast. I mean, another.
But anyway, so basically a few of the beasts have escaped into New York, and he has to now go out for the next part of the film and find them to prove that the big black thing that's tearing its way through New York isn't actually one of his beasts, and it's something else. Because at the moment, the Ministry think that his beast is causing all this crap.
They certainly do. Yeah. It's So there's like that little subplot where like Colin Farrell's, we're still not sure exactly what his
Well,
intentions are,
so-
etc.
So there's this bit. So Colin Farrell's basically a massive dick in this film, and he pulls them in, and he's like, "You're sentenced to death, both of you. You for releasing this beast that's killed someone, and you for helping him." And she's like, "Oh, I've not helped him." But
Instant death.
But then, seeing as in this world there is a spell which can just kill someone, they then decide to do one of the most psychological torture methods ever. And
Should we give a
for-
spoiler
for
alert
a kids' film?
Spoiler alert, just in case.
Yeah, we'll
This
do
is major
spoilers.
spoilers. But
We'll do spoilers now. They bring him into a room with a silver acid bath
It looks a bit like a dentist chair,
and a
right?
chair, and then it's like, "Oh, I'll take all your memories and put them into the acid bath. Look how happy you were. Look how happy your life is now sitting in the chair.
Was that
Don't
like
you want to get swallowed up by the acid now?" She's like, "Yes, I would like."
Wasn't
to
that
get
just like
swallowed up."
wizard in morphine, basically? That's what it seemed
I
like.
thought
to
it was
me.
like an acid. I thought it was because it was like enveloping her at one point.
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? And she just about
it's
got out.
fucking-
Spoiler, but it was a bit freaky,
That
wasn't it?
seems terrifying. It's terrifying. Imagine if you're a kid going to watch that.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like for like the wizarding world, you're thinking, oh, they're very progressive and they're calm and that, and then they just like exterminate people in such like a disturbing way. It's
They've
quite
got a
freaky,
spell
innit?
that can kill anyone at any point, and they kill him in this
Baraka-
weird, yeah, and this fucking acid bath,
Had different
wizard
treatment.
acid bath. Anyway, so we should probably speed it up a little bit here. So it turns out that so the next bit's called he goes catches the creatures.
Yeah,
The
I
massive
mean,
there's a massive rhino thing.
the massive rhino thing chasing it because
It's
it's in heat
so
as well.
funny.
And
It's
he
in
rubs
heat.
all the
So the massive rhino
pheromones
thing
on
like,
him, doesn't he?
barges into the zoo. It's in mating season, so I think it looks like it's trying to have sex with a hippo at one point. It's like cornered a hippo.
Yeah,
And then Eddie Redmayne turns up and starts doing this mating dance.
That's
which
quite
is,
funny
Which
as
is
well.
quite funny. He's doing this
I
like
quite enjoyed
really
that.
funny mating dance. But then his mates opened up this scent, which apparently this creature loves. And the creature looks like a rhino with a massive head.
yeah, it's like a hippo rhino fat thing.
And
It's
then
huge. It's a female as well, isn't it? So it wants a poking.
Yeah, and then so he end up getting chased. And there's actually a really funny bit before that where he gives him some armour. And he's like, "Why are you giving me this?" He's like, "Because your head's really susceptible to being crushed."
yeah, it was good.
So they get chased and,
That was
and they catch it. And then the other one is there's a creature that can turn invisible.
It
And
looks a bit like a sloth, doesn't it?
and
It's well funny.
a bird that gets bigger to the size of the room that it's in.
Yeah.
so-
But what about if it goes outside? Does that mean it just gets
Yeah.
bigger than the world?
Yeah, it does. That is
Possibly.
exactly what it means. So
It would just crush everything.
they corner the bird, and there's another really funny bit where they corner this massive creature, and he's like, "I need a teapot
and a cockroach.
and a cockroach." And they have to like run around the room finding a teapot and a cockroach, which are in like a department store, so it sort of makes sense. And then there's this really funny bit where she holds out she shows the bird the cockroach, and it like notices it, and it's like latched on, and then she throws it in the teapot, and then the bird just goes into the teapot, and Eddie Redmayne jumps on it and puts like a saucer over the top of it.
And then it's small again, but that bit did remind me a little bit of at the end of like Kenan and Kel when they used to go like, "Meet me in the graveyard with a shovel, an armadillo, and a 6-pack of whatever." That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
It's just like, let's just think of the most random thing we can think of and just say we need that to
So-
defeat it, shall we say?
So whilst this is all going on, we find out that there's a kid that's been funneling all its magic power up inside of it, and that's what's causing this massive black thing to tear through. Black cloud of wizarding terror.
I think it was called an obscurus.
Obscurus or something like that. But it's all down to a kid that bottles up all their magic power, and they think it's where this woman's telling her kids all magic is bad and wrong. They're bottling it up, so it's one of the kids. So Colin Farrell's making a deal with Credence, who he thinks is
Proud American
is a
bomb
squib.
burning.
he thinks he's a squib, so that means both his parents were magic. So
He
he
is
doesn't
not.
think Credence has power, but he thinks it's his sister that's the black thing tearing its way through city.
Don't you think though a squib is a bit like, when like if say you had like two really successful athletic people,
And they-
so like a footballer, and then they just produce like a couch potato. It's not very good.
Yeah.
That's basically like what a squib
That's
is.
what a squib is. But so Colin Farrell, it turns out, wants to harness the power. He's got nefarious intentions.
The power of the obscurus.
He wants to get the power of the obscurus, and he wants to unleash it upon no-mages and kill them all.
I must admit, I do think like the obscurus when it's actually on screen and it does a bit of like killing and that, it is quite scary in the way it's very like frantic and just like it's a weird like sort of smoke cloud, but it has like weird character elements to it, and you do sort of see like outlines of limbs and that, but it is very much just like a ball of crazy energy.
Yeah.
But what it does to people is quite horrible, where it like picks them up and twists them around.
Oh,
as
absolutely.
well.
Yeah. So
It's quite vicious for a 12A.
so the mum flips out at the daughter because somehow she has a wand. Don't know how she got a wand, but they have a wand in the house.
I think that might have actually been a rampant rabbit.
And she gets angry at the daughter, and then the Obscurus comes out of nowhere and kills the Salem witch trial's mum.
She deserved it anyway.
Which is the second nomad to get killed in this film by the Wizarding World, and there's all like tensions are rising.
To be fair, both of the people that get killed are a bit cunty anyway.
Oh yeah, they probably deserved it. But so Colin Farrell then is like turns around to Credence and is like, "Oh, I don't need you now. You're a little piece of shit. I never needed you, you little piece of shit.
I just used you, abused you. I slept with you. I fucked you, and I don't need you now.
You got a shit haircut. You got a fucking massive head. Your
clothes
thin
don't
and
fit.
tiny. No one likes you.
You've got bad nutrition."
So he thinks he's found the girl who he thinks is the thing, and then he turns around and whoop-de-doo, Credence is the Obscurus, and he turns into a black cloud.
Shaking.
And he's so angry. Oh, I'm so angry.
So much teenage angst.
This is
Why
my
is
angry
life
face.
so difficult?
This is my angry face. And yeah, he sort of tears around the city. Humans start taking pictures of him, and he ends up in a subway.
Of course, where all good battles end. This is like the Matrix all over again.
Where Eddie Redmayne
You're the one.
and Colin Farrell... Eddie Redmayne's trying to contain him and extract the Obscurus, whereas Colin Farrell's just trying to release the Obscurus. And there's a really cool bit where like the Ministry of Magic sort of turns up and casts a shield around the subway.
Yeah,
everyone's still
protect it,
taking...
but like people can see what's going on now.
Everyone's still taking pictures.
Humanity is starting to
Humanity
take note of this.
Humanity has seen wizarding kind and knows it's real now.
And it's being exposed in a big way, which it never has before, which isn't great, really, because they wanted to keep it quiet.
So Eddie Redmayne and Colin Farrell sort of battling each other whilst trying to contain the Obscurus.
There is this one scene, right, where during their battle royale, where Colin Farrell was attacking Eddie Redmayne, and it just reminded me of like Revenge of the Return of the Jedi, where he's basically just like lightning him, going, and he's just hitting him over and over again, and he's like shaking. It was just like that, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. It's like
You will never realise the power inside you.
But then so then all of the wizarding community turn up and they're like, boo 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 100 wands with random white and the black cloud, and it dies. I think he dies. I'm not sure. So they kill the black cloud, and Newt Scamander is like, "No, I could have saved him."
Because he previously could have saved another girl who had a black cloud.
I saved a girl
who
with
died.
an Obscurus once, and I kept the Obscurus. I don't know.
I don't know why.
And yeah, so
For later plot points.
later plot points in this film.
And then at some point...
Oh, that's why they got sentenced to death, because they find an Obscurus in his suitcase.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
There we go. So they kill the Obscurus, and then Colin Farrell goes on a rant. Wizarding kind should just kill all the muggles. They don't know nothing.
He's basically Magneto in
We
this,
should-
right?
Yeah, we should kill. And then...
What do you think they're going to do? Do those laws protect us or protect them? Charles.
think?
Charles.
And then... Newt
I don't think I can stop them all, Charles.
Newt Scamander reveals him. Does he reveal him? Does he do the
They
trick?
do a little spell, which is the take your wig off thing. And it turns out it's Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp.
It's Johnny Depp.
Wearing like with weird blonde hair and a
Who
moustache.
what it turns out is that Colin Farrell was actually the evil wizard Grindelwald this whole
Gert Grindelwald.
time.
Griswold.
And this
Gert
sets up
Griswold, yeah.
sets up the trilogy/quadrilogy of all the films they're going to do after this of Grindelwald versus Dumbledore, the great wizarding battle that happened at the same time as World War II. So it's kind of like a metaphor for Germany versus the rest of the world.
But what I want to say is, what the fuck was going on with the wizards that they didn't stop the Holocaust or anything? Like they just like this was allowed to happen, even though wizards have the power to do anything.
Well,
Human and wizard conflict shouldn't be possible because either the humans just shoot all the wizards, or the wizards just like mine's that. You're going to go home and cook dinner. Mine's that. You're going to take your Nazi uniform off. Mine's that.
I think the point is
Mine's
that
that.
they want to live in the same world as humans whilst not being noticed.
And they're willing to let
But I don't want to be
millions
mean-
of people die.
Well, no, because
Fuck you, magicians.
oh, I get
Fuck
what
you,
I get
magicians.
what you're saying. I'm not sure.
Like they could have intervened, unless, of course, Voldemort was on the side of the Nazis,
Yeah,
or
maybe.
Grindelwald. Maybe he was. Maybe he was
Maybe.
Hitler's right hand man.
There's not been a history yet, so yeah, wizards are dicks.
Wizards are dicks.
Maybe
And,
maybe wizards don't like Jews either.
one other thing. Obviously, Fat Moustache Man was really funny. Probably the highlight for me.
But wait, let's just hold on Johnny Depp. What do you think about Johnny Depp in these films? Because I think he should fucking give it a rest.
Well, I just got this. It was just one of those things. It was a bit like when they it just reminded me of another scene in the film where Colin Farrell's talking to him and he just mentions Dumbledore, and it's one of those things where you're supposed to get everyone to go, ooh, a reference, and it's like this. It's just it's such a weird thing to have like one of the biggest movie stars in the world just appear. He says like one line in some weird voice and then just disappears. It seems very much like it was just sort of like a, I don't know, like a cheap attention grab.
Yeah, it was like a twist at the end. But what I've pissed off about is
Graves. That's Colin Farrell's name. Graves.
They should have had Johnny Depp and then kept Colin Farrell as Grindelwald, because Colin Farrell was fucking amazing in this film.
Did you think he was amazing? I thought he was okay.
I didn't like him.
He was unlikable, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean he was amazing, though, does it?
No, but his character was supposed to be an unlikable prick. And I don't
like
got that
Phil
from him.
Mitchell, but
he looks
he's
pretty
not
cool.
amazing.
Looks pretty cool.
No, he
didn't
did have quite a
Haircut-
sleek,
haircut
like,
was
he had a bit
pretty
of a Nazi look going
No,
on.
I think Colin Farrell would have made a good
But
Grindelwald.
what would have made some more sense to me was for him to just be like, because they hinted it the whole way, and that for him just to be like Grindelwald's second-hand man or something, him to be taken away, and then maybe a reveal of Grindelwald like looking in some mirror or something that shows what's going on, and for him to go, oh, maybe
It's
next
all
time.
falling into plan. Newt Scamander, Newt Scamander.
That's going in the teaser, that is.
Anyway, yeah.
Newt Scamander.
Newt Scamander. Hey, you've played into my plan.
It must be that super secret devil juice Dad gave me.
Right. So we wrap this up. What did you think of the film?
One last
Go
thing
on.
is, why was there like 5 endings? Did you not think that there was like loads of opportunities for it to end, where they were like wrapping it up? You're thinking, this is a nice closer, a final shot,
Yep.
and then it goes to another scene.
Absolutely.
They could have just finished on the set, just Johnny Depp being taken away. That was a finish.
I didn't like.
There was
I
like
didn't
4
like that.
endings to this. This was like watching Return of the King all over again. Where
I
it's
didn't
half
like-
an hour of ending.
I didn't like the fact that there were 2 male and 2 female leads, and they all fell in love at the end with each other.
Yeah,
that seemed
was
a little
just-
bit.
That was a bit lazy, wasn't it?
It's pretty cool because the fat guy gets his mind wiped. Goes to a bakery, but he can sort of remember some little stuff. So he makes bakery treats that look like all the beasts.
Yeah, that's a little funny nod.
Yeah,
but
that's a funny little thing. I didn't like the ending where the Phoenix thing releases an acid into the clouds and it wipes everyone's minds. I thought that was quite.
What about the people that are
convenient.
inside?
That's quite convenient.
Most
Yeah,
people were
no.
inside.
What if people were inside? Then they wouldn't.
Was it just
unless it rained
just
for
ooze
days?
out or something?
Unless it just rained for days. What about people that had an umbrella? Yeah, which like
A thick raincoat with a hood.
yeah,
up.
that was
Yeah.
quite convenient. That ending.
But on the whole, I would give this film a 7 out of 10.
I'm giving it an 8, mate.
You're giving it an 8,
The
aren't you?
beasts are brilliant.
I
I
would
look
say-
forward to more of them.
Good bit of Grindelwalding.
And next week we are looking at Star Trek Beyond, I believe.
Yeah, because we were saying how shit this year's been for films.
Oh, for the most part,
And
yes.
this is actually supposed to be a very good film that got overlooked by a lot of people, like The Nice Guys. So I'm going to give it a watch this weekend, and you will watch it at some point in the week.
Yeah, and we will coming at you with that episode. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
And peace out.
Thank you very much.
Fuck off.